All right, today I got a practical example, real world example from the comment section of a previous video regarding just the decisions and actions inside of buckets. How do you run daily life? Where do you pull those funds from? Where do you pull funds for one-time expenses? So that came through. I've made a lot of videos on buckets, but here goes another one. And this is a real example of specific actions, not just high-level theory, but what kind of decisions are you needing to make? So let me give you some background. This is a 60-year-old couple. And that's important because they have access to all of their accounts, their 401ks that they may or may not have converted into IRAs. They can have access to Roth accounts, brokerage accounts, really everything. Okay, they currently have a 70-30 allocation of stocks to safe assets, bonds, CDs, that kind of stuff. 70-30, so pretty aggressive for a retired couple. I didn't say that, they are currently retired. Bucket one, they have 3 years of expenses. This is expenses on top of any fixed income they have coming in. So if their expenses are $5,000 a month and they have a pension of $2,000, so that's 3 years of expenses they need from their investments, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So 3 years that they need from their assets in bucket one. Bucket two, another 3 years. These may be in things that are like FDIC insured, like a CD. These may be in some bonds, individual bonds, bond ladder, bond funds, that kind of stuff. Maybe some CDs in there, money market fund in there. And then bucket three is 100% stocks, and this is where they're depending on all their growth. Okay, so heavily in stocks here. Social Security plan is for 67, perhaps 70 years old. Know the value of pushing out Social Security. It's the best asset a lot of us have with 7 or 8% growth a year, adjusted for inflation. It's really pretty good if you can delay it. So at least 7 years. And this is the S&P 500. Today, I looked this up right before I made this video, 49.28. So it's at or near new highs. So this couple, where should they pull their living expenses for the first half of 2024? You're living out of it right now, okay? Let me know in the comments, okay? Hit pause, think about it, hit like, hit subscribe. Okay, we're back. Where should they pull their living expenses from? Well, remember, each bucket has a purpose. Bucket one is meant to handle a down market. It's where you spend money when you have a down market. The market goes down 40%. You don't want to sell stocks. You don't want to panic. You want to live your life and enjoy your life. You have 3 years to ride that down. Okay, and you're getting some, you're getting some of these. You may be getting 4.5%, 5%, 3.5%, pretty safe things in here. And then bucket two is for an extended down market. You're getting a little better returns, but these are a little less accessible to you. You'd like to have them sit in there. So these two combined, you can manage through 6 years of a down market and then recovery. So that's the purpose of these. So since the market is at new highs, you really want to pull your living expenses from bucket three. You pull them from bucket three. These are, I like, a good friend of mine calls these like keeping the gas tank full. You need the gas tank full in your car for when bad things happen. Well, bad things aren't happening right now. The S&P 500 is at new highs. Bad things aren't happening. Pull out of your bucket three for your living expenses. Let these go and do their job. This one has done its job. It's at new highs. Okay, let these be. These are standby. All right, these are standby for the storm that will come. Hopefully that makes sense. Number two, we're taking an Alaskan trip in September of this year. Where do we pull funds from and why? Well, first of all, if you're planning on spending that money in September, My question to you is, should you have that in the stock market? You need that money. Should you have it in the stock market? I like to use at least 5 years of, if I need the money in 5 years or less, it's not in the stock market. I prefer 7 years, lean towards 10, okay? So probably shouldn't have that money in the stock market. Pulling it out of bucket 1 and 2, if you didn't already have it planned as a one-time expense for inside of bucket 1 or 2, it's kind of like a surprise trip that came up, I wouldn't take it out of here. These 2 buckets have a purpose. Okay, that's expenses within, they're to handle a down market for up to 6 years. Now, I go into my software package and I actually would put in something like, let's say, 15,000. I'll just put that in there for fun. Say that Alaska trip's going to be 15,000. It's a nice Alaska trip. I would have 3 years plus my one-time expenses in here, plus like Roth conversion money, all those kind of things that I would have in there. But if you didn't have it in this bucket 1, this is just your expenses, daily living, all that kind of stuff, I would also pull it out of bucket 3. Bucket 3 is money, it's doing its job. It's growing. Pull some money out of that. Let bucket 1 and 2 do their job. Hopefully this makes sense. This is a real action. I'm not recommending this to anybody. This is how I would play the cards. This is how I've been managing with my buckets. I've been retired 5 years now, and I let my bucket 1 and 2 do their job. But I do add one-time expenses to bucket 1, okay? I do anything I got planned, like a replacement car, replacement roof, replacement furnace, big vacation. I also add Roth conversion dollars in there, in weddings, anything like a wedding of a child. So I throw those into their respective buckets based on time. Makes sense? Let me know in the comments. This is Joe out.